Thank you for your patience, everybody. We're now going to resume. Ms. McCloud, we look forward to your testimony. Thank you.
The last time I was in this room was last year when the Marines posthumously presented me with my husband's Bronze Star Award. I am the proud widow of Marine Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Trane McCloud. Trane died on December 4th, 2006, when his helicopter crashed at Haditha Dam in the Al Anbar province of Iraq. When he died, our 3 children were 2, 5, and 7. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. Thank you, Congressman Wilson, for the friendship and support you have shown my family since Trane's death. I will always be grateful. Chairwoman Davis, I have met with you before, and I appreciate all that you have done and continue to do for our military families and survivors. I've also met with Congressman Jones, and he has been a loyal friend. The reason I am here today is to talk about the Military Surviving Spouses Equity Act, H.R. 775, recently introduced by Congressman Solomon Ortiz and Henry Brown, which eliminates the unjust offset of the survivor benefit plan by dependent indemnity compensation. This legislation currently has 136 co-sponsors. 11 of the 16 members of this subcommittee have co-sponsored. Thank you. By law, SBP is offset dollar for dollar by DIC. DIC is an indemnity payment paid by the Department of Veterans Affairs to the surviving spouse for a service-related death. SBP is an annuity purchased by the retired military service member and provided to the spouse of active duty deaths. Approximately 7% of the 54,000 SBP DIC surviving spouses became eligible through active duty death. The remaining 93% are survivors of disabled retirees who paid premiums to ensure that their families receive a continued portion of the earned lifetime retired pay upon their death. The retiree paid for it, and now their spouse is being denied it. DIC is a reparation. SBP is a retirement. They are distinct and separate things. There is no reason that receiving one should offset the other, but that is exactly what happens. Shortly after Trane died, I sat the kids down and I made them a promise. I told them that our lives without Daddy would certainly be different. How could it not be? He was the most amazing husband, the most amazing father, and he's now gone from our lives. But I promised them that although our lives would be different, they would still be good, different but good. Trane did his job willingly. He served his nation, he did it well, and he gave his life doing it. He did his job, and I will do mine. Live a good life and raise our children well. Shortly after burying my husband in Arlington, I was faced with a decision, the same decision that all surviving spouses with young children have to make, whether to accept the child option and receive the full SBP payment without offset of DIC only until the youngest child reaches the age of majority, or receive a decreased SBP payment to me for life. Military widows of non-service-related deaths are not forced to make this same choice. They receive the full SBP and any other survivor benefits their husband may have earned post-military retirement. My children have already suffered an unimaginable loss, and I did not want to compound that loss further by greater financial hardship during their youth. So I, like most other widows with young children, took the child option. When I made that decision, I didn't fully understand the short and long-term consequences. I will never regret trying to secure my children's financial future, but in doing so, I sacrificed mine, and that is an injustice. No amount of money will make up for the loss of Trane or any of our servicemen or women. All of us would give anything for them to come home from that last deployment. But these men and women went willingly to serve their country. They knew the risk, and they took it. They took it because they know the job at hand is of paramount importance to our country and to generations of future Americans to keep us safe and secure. They took it for us, and they asked very little of us. I, like all of you, am grateful that there continue to be young men and women who rise to the call of duty to preserve our freedom. We, as a country, need to honor our obligations to them and their surviving spouses. That means paying the retirement benefit that is rightfully theirs, either because they paid premiums for it after retiring from service, or they paid for it with their lives. The dead and the disabled are a consequence of this war. Providing for the well-being of the surviving families of these American heroes is a cost of war. If we can find the money to fund this war, if we can find the money to continue funding supplementals for this war, we must find the money to fulfill our obligations to our military families whose service member paid the ultimate price for this country. Respectfully, and in conclusion, this issue has been before Congress for years. Congress has eliminated other offsets to retired pay and survivor benefits. Why does this offset remain? If our voice isn't loud, it's only because we have been silenced by our grief. So let me say, in the memory of those that have fallen, and in the name of the families left behind, please right this wrong. Find the funding to eliminate this egregious offset and restore the rightful benefit of retired pay to the surviving spouses of the men and women who have died in service to our country. They gave their last full measure. The least Congress can do is give them what they've earned. Give them the peace of knowing that their loved ones are cared for. Please pass H.R. 775. Thank you so very much for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you for your testimony, and I know I speak for all of my colleagues when we express our condolences to you, your family, and to all everybody who is here today as well. I know we have a lot of Gold Star wives in attendance, and we appreciate the fact that you've taken your grief and advocated for other military families.
Thank you.